onto the actual Zoom. The link is in the chat. That way you can join us and we're going to have a great time. We're going to rock out. So, my promise to you, you all know, you want to have that successful, sustainable, profitable business. I'm here to provide you with direction, clarity, and simplified strategies to really help you get your business ish together. And so, with us talking about pricing today, a lot of times people will reach out to you and they'll ask, okay, how much is it? Right? What's the price or what's the cost? And there's a few differences and some things that you really have to get a good understanding about before you can really start to price your offer appropriately, because you don't want to leave out the fact that it costs you something in order to be in business. And also, with it costing you something to be in business, you don't want to leave out how much value you're bringing, right? This plagues every business owner at some point, so it's not just you. Don't worry about it. But this is mostly for service-based offers. However, if you do have a physical product, we are going to make sure that we help you out as well. The creative spaces, for those of you, we're going to help you out as well. So I know how unnerving it can be, but I got you, I promise. And if everyone would do me a favor, make sure you're on mute. I'm going to mute those of you here just in case. All right, I think I got you. Just because I don't want it to keep pulling from the screen. Now, I'm also not going to use a bunch of slides and things tonight. We're probably just going to stick with this first slide. Everything else I'm going to drop into the chat for you because we are going to get down to business. I don't want you to undercut yourself anymore. I don't want you to not realize your value anymore. And I also don't want you to be one of those money hungry entrepreneurs that's out here charging $5,000 for something that could have been learned in a 30-minute YouTube video, right? No shots fired, just telling the truth. Alright, so if you are listening and you are excited, please drop the word price into the chat. Yes, I see you. Oh, that's a great business. Okay. Lashes and more. Okay, I see you. Thank you. All right. Welcome, welcome. Yes, that link over to the Zoom is inside of the chat. Thank you. All right, I see price. I see price. Okay, so let's get some groundwork in. When we talk about cost, right? The cost of something is really the time, the effort, the materials, whatever it costs to actually put together whatever it is that you are presenting, right? And it also includes materials like lighting, for example, being here on Zoom. Those are things that you have to pay attention to when it comes to the cost. Me here, I have my desk, I have this Zoom subscription, I have the email platform that I'm using in order to send emails and text out to you all. That is a cost of doing business. And then when it comes to when people are asking, what's the price? I do have my standard price for the coaching and other things that I do, but I have to include profit unless I'm just looking to break even in business, right? So with me deciding that I want to go into coaching, for example, I need to make sure that I'm including all of the things that it's going to cost me to actually do business, along with being able to make a profit for myself, but still give you extreme value. I don't want to show up unless I'm giving you value. Now, a lot of times we don't account for the things that make the most sense. If you are, I see JT's on here, if you're the type of person who you do have a physical product and you're needing to physically go be somewhere, not only is that your time, that's your gas, that's car maintenance, that's all of those things that need to be included. So I am going to drop this price sheet to you for those of you that are over here in Zoom. I will drop the price sheet in Facebook. I cannot guarantee that you'll be able to see it fully. This is in a view only link. There you go. Like I told y'all, we were going to jump in. Yeah. Yes, you were able to open it. Great. Okay, there you are in Zoom. Perfect. So this is in viewer mode. You can go ahead and make a copy of this document. Once you make a copy of it, you should be able to actually edit on it. edit on it. I said that right? I did. Yeah. All right. So what you should see is our webinar date. I see a few people hopping on. Price your offer. What this is about, just making sure that you're pricing your offer accordingly, right? No need to read the whole top, but I do have an example here, right? When it comes to pricing your offer. Now, this is a very short form of what we're going to do, but everyone here, cool. I see you. Oh, you need me to drop it again? Will do. It is there. Okay, you got it? Great. Great. Okay. So on this form, I want you to think about what they get, right? What are people getting from you? Thank you. Appreciate the thumbs up. So for example, as a coach, and this isn't specifically my numbers, but just using them for example, right? You have a kickoff call. Maybe you have coaching calls. You have an action plan, accountability emails. For me, I also have follow-up emails. Inside of what you get with me, you get lunch. So all of those things I include. But there are things that are going to require my time and other things that are going to require my money. So I make sure that I would put down how much time it's actually taking me to do a thing, right? And then how many times I have to do it. So for example, if you are doing coaching of some sort, or you have some other online offer, how many times are you going to have to do it? And in what time frames will you have to do it in? So if you're having to do something 12 times for 30 minutes each, that's 720 minutes. Now, the reason that I broke it down into minutes, as you'll see here on the next line, we're going to make sure that we're getting paid accordingly. So it says part 1, your total offer / client, the time that it takes, right? So it's the total time for an estimate of how much time you should budget to spend with each client. Thank you. Welcome in. To each client throughout the duration of your offer. So if you're spending 1,080 minutes for 18 hours, now you know your total time spent. The next thing is your expected hourly rate. Now, this is where you also start to include a little profit. So for me to show up, right? Let's say it's $125 an hour for me to show up. Or JT, for you, if you going to the gym, we'll say it's $85 an hour for you to show up. So how much money does it take for you to just show up? I'm sure all of you have had your car either towed or had to use AAA of some sort, and they've given you that, well, it cost me this just to come out. Or maybe you got locked out and they had to come in, bring you keys or remake you a key, something they charge just for coming out. I want you to make sure that you have your fee just for showing up, just for coming out. After that, we'll get into baseline offers and all of that. So everyone here sees the form. I am going to drop it again because a few people did jump in. Please make sure that you make a copy so that you can write on yours. But I want to take some time. We're going to go into breakout rooms. Yay. And I want you to talk to each other about your offers. Talk about what it is that you're doing, and then how much time is it really taking you to show up. For those of you that may be writing emails for people to show up, make sure that you include that time. How much time does it usually take you? Now, just follow me. I know you're like, wait a minute, this price is about to get outrageous. I promise you it's not. We're going to bring it back down. Yes, I will. Actually, let me do that now. I always put on my notes to record. And then I forget to record. I jump in. So I want you to think about all of the things that people get from you when they actually decide to work with you. Let's see. Alexis, are you available?
I am. I'm trying to set my camera up.
Okay. Do you mind kind of telling everybody what it really takes for you to do business? I know there's like setting up your machines, there's sending out emails. What do people get?
So for me, like on a day-to-day basis, it is like content creation. I'm having to, if I have to prepare some files for them, let me see if my camera will come on. I don't want that camera. Can y'all see me? Okay.
Yeah,
If I have to prepare files for them, if I have to go live, what else do I have to do? Ship things off for them. I mean, it's all kind of stuff.
okay.
Posts.
It's a lot. It's a lot, right? And we don't realize how much we actually do to get to the moment of showtime, to get to the game. So I want you all to take some time, get you either a Google Doc or actual pen and paper together. And I want you to write out what they get. What do people get when they're working with you? Is it a call? Is it a series of emails? Are you putting things together for them? Are you creating packages? What are the things that you're doing? Now, for anybody who is service or who is not service-based, if you are product-based, hey, Mandy, welcome in. Welcome in, Mandy. For anyone who is actually product-based, I want you to either raise your hand in the Zoom or just take your mic off of mute, because I want to keep you here while the service-based people go into the breakout rooms. We're going to do our room a little bit different because maybe your product already has a price, unless this format works for you, right? If this format works for you as a product-based, all good, you can go into the breakout room. If this doesn't quite work for you though, I want you to stay right here with me. Cool? Awesome. So I'm going to try to make the breakout rooms a little smaller just to make sure. I want you to be able to talk to each other, kind of tell what you do, talk about what you're really putting into it. There'll be about 3 of you in the breakout room. So, okay, cool. I see you'll be staying here. Perfect. All right, you'll be staying here. All right. So the breakout rooms are open for 15 minutes. Enjoy, get to know each other, talk about your business. This is where that networking starts too. Got it. Got it, got it. Okay. Did the rooms open up for everyone? All right, so make sure that you click down at the bottom of your link of your Zoom. It may be in participants. If it's not in the participants section, it may have popped up on another screen if you have a second screen going. What do people get when they work with you? And for those of you over in Facebook, oh, perfect. Deborah, you are product-based too. All right, I want you to make a list. You can write it out here, or again, you can join us over in Zoom. Write out here, what all do people get when they work with you? I am going to move a few people around in some of these rooms. There we go. All right, perfect. So those of you that are left with your product-based offer, tell me about your offer. What's the current price of it right now? And then we're going to work our way through. And anybody can start.
For me, do I need to click in the join room 1?
Nope. Your
Product-based?
product-based, you can stay right here.
Okay, all right. For me, for my invitations, I do have a price, and it just depends on what level of invitations you want. If you want just the basic invitation, 1 page, no frills, wedding invitations or party invitations.
Okay.
No frills, just, basic print invitation. I have a price for that, which is $4 per invitation. And if you want, I call it a premium invitation. That's where it's got overlays. It may have multiple pages. Just depends on it. I have add-ons for, if you want beads on it, or if you want brads on it with a ribbon or an overlay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a price for that for all the add-ons. And then if you want a reception card, actually the reception card comes with a premier invitation. If you want an additional card, maybe like a wishing well or a separate card with directions, or you register, there's an add-on for that too. If you want me to mail them out, actually I don't even offer that, so that's just not gonna happen. But
okay.
I'll send them to you. If you want now I do have it also for envelopes, which includes with it, I can put your return address on it. Some people like it, some people don't, because they want to handwrite it, which works great for me.
Got you. So your minimum price is $4.
Yeah, that's just for the plain basic invitation.
Okay, and so once you get down to all of the things that you have to do, right? If it is mailing, the time that it takes to actually do this, are they getting these invitations online or you're actually sending them out?
No, I'm actually creating them and printing them and packaging it up and sending it to them.
Okay. Okay.
And I do have kind of sort of I guess maybe it would be a service-based side to it, or if you want my assistance with helping you, let's say if it's a do-it-yourself wedding, you want my assistance with that I've got to come up with a price with. That's the hardest part because I only offer, it's not like I'm available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Let's say if you want me to help you decorate your venue, then, the day of, I need to create a price for that.
Okay.
I've been doing it for friends, and that's only for, as a trial run to see. I got to stop doing it for my friends because they're unappreciative. So
have we been giving the friend discount?
Yeah, and that's what I call it, my family and friends discount. And I found that family will pay for things my friends won't. Go figure.
That makes sense. It's all about who knows you the most. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, I'm going to help you with that. So JT and who we having here? JT and Darren.
All right. So, pretty much getting products from me. If they get one, it's 40. This is in hand. If they get two, it's 65. If they get 3 bottles from me, it's 100. And also what they get from me, they also get instructions. And also they have my expertise. So they will see my monthly emails, my text messages weekly, is checking in with them. And also just expertise and connection with other people in the health and wellness industry. They can help them out. So that's pretty much my offer when it comes to products and everything.
Okay. Emails, text. So you give a lot of you in yours.
Yeah, a lot of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of me coming in.
I love it. Okay. Darren?
I think Darren just dropped.
Oh, you just dropped? Okay. Oh, he just went into the breakout room. That's okay. That's okay. We'll get them back or they'll talk to him in the breakout room. Deborah, on Facebook, you said that you also had your product-based offer. If you'll drop it in the chat, I would love to hear what all you're giving in your offer. Now, I will say for both of you, because both of you are giving of you, I'm pretty sure you're not including your profit, right? Reason being is because, especially for you, Cynthia, you said you had $4 per invitation, which that's great. How much is it actually costing you materials wise, all of that, to actually produce the invitations? Like on average. Oh, I think you're on mute. Yeah, you're muted.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My dog was barking.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to gauge because I have ink, it's ink cartridges, which is, I can use those for thousands of pages. But I think when I add in the paper just for that basic invitation, I think I calculated out once. It actually wasn't even more than $1 for each one for just the basic one. Yeah, because what I've decided to not do is, how some places will say you have to order like a minimum of 25 and then order them in increments of 5, 10. I don't do that. If you need 32, I can do 32. It has to be in multiples of 2 though. That's one thing.
What is the reason that you don't charge per bulk?
Because I've been in a situation where, and actually when I was doing it for my son's birthday, I was only inviting like 28 people. And it was mainly because it was, kids in his class and that he knew. So when I got to 28 and I went online and I was looking for invitations, you could order a minimum of 25 and then you could order, the next one you had to order an additional 10 after that. I was like, I only need 28. I don't need 35 of these. So, right. And I talked to a few other parents and actually a few other people, And they said, yeah, they've had that same problem. So what they ended up doing was getting the invitation and then like taking it somewhere and making a copy of it, which didn't look as good as the original. So that's when I decided, I know how inconvenient that can be,
Mhm.
especially with some of these places where, you can order a minimum of 25 and then you have to order them in increments of 10, 15, 20, or 25. That's why I priced it at per invitation. So, but I also don't have, if you order over a certain amount, you get a discount. There's no discount. There's no discount because it doesn't discount me my time to do it. So you don't get a discount on it.
Got you. So two sides to that coin, right? The first side of that being that the minimum guarantees your show up, right? Your minimum guarantees that, okay, regardless if I get an order, I'm getting this much money. In order for you to really start making your business sustainable, you need to at least know the minimum that you're going to
Oh
get.
yeah, I have a minimum. Yeah, I have a
Okay.
minimum. I just don't have, because you have to order at least 20. And
Okay.
that's 20 is my minimum, but I don't say, the next thing you have to order 20 or 30 or 40. You can order 20, 21, 22, 23,
Got it. Okay, now that makes sense. Okay. Okay, so with us being at $4 per invitation, you said it's roughly $1. Now, I really want you to break down what all does it actually cost. And the reason I'm doing this with you, and because JT, I know yours is a bit different. It's kind of set, but you can add a little something on top. We'll talk about that too. But for you, Cynthia, with you charging $4, like you said, the ink, right? How much does ink cost?
Because mine are laser printed. One ink cartridge is about $73. So that's about $280 for 4 ink cartridges, which can last me through, I could probably do 10 weddings, 4 ink cartridges, depending on what they get. Yeah.
So $280 gets you through 10 sets, we'll say, of invitations. And then how much is your printer?
Well, I print them on my printer at home. So
How much was your printer?
my printer was, how much was this thing? I think it was like $250, $275.
Okay, $250. And I want you to write these down too. So I wrote down $250. So your ink is $280. Your printer was $250. You're doing it at home. So I get your mindset of, okay, well, it's not costing me much, even though there is, electricity, there's your desk, there's all of those things, but those things will continue to run. However, the ink you will continue to have to buy to do business. Your printer you will continue to have to maintain in order to do business. And when it comes time for you to purchase another one, you don't want that to be a back burner item that is, oh crap, I'm in the middle of this wedding and now I need to buy another printer, right? These are expenses that you want to make sure that you've accounted for while you are there. Okay, so we have ink, printer. Now, what's next? We have paper, I'm sure.
Yeah, paper, and it all depends on the invitation. I'll say my basic cardstock paper. Oh my God, what was it? And I just bought one. It was $850 for a ream of 250 pages. So $850 for 250, which can get me 500 invitations.
Okay, 500 invites. All right. All right. All right. I want you to keep doing this. Keep going down the list of things and the cost. Write those down. I want to, before I come to you, JT, I know things start adding up, right? Yeah, I want you to continue to write that out, Cynthia. I do want to get to Deborah because I only have about 1 minute left with those in Facebook. I'm a boutique owner. I sell jewelry, toys, makeup, accessories of all kinds. I don't sell clothes anymore because of the price, as it went up too high. That's understandable. I have Facebook shop. She dropped the link. Love it. Thank you. I'm in the process as of next year, raising my prices up by 5% on all my products because of the cost of living. Ooh, Deborah, I really want to break that down with you because I know that's the thing where everybody's at right now. Like, hey, the cost of living is getting high, the cost of doing business is getting high, and I need to change my prices. And dependent on how many steady customers you have, there's a cost to changing your prices with people who are used to your prices. So if you are able to, please jump into the Zoom. I really, really, really want to discuss this further with you, but I have to go on Facebook. I've hit my 30-minute limit. I am dropping the link in for you one more time. Let me make sure. I want to make sure I have that link for you. Copy. But I really want to talk to you about that some more because there's so many variables to when you do decide to change your prices, especially based on the economy. When you're changing your prices based on the economy, you put your business at risk. All right. And anyone else, if you are over in the land of Facebook, go ahead and join us over here on the Zoom. We are rocking. But thank you all for joining me. By tomorrow, you'll be able to sign up for our next webinar. Yay. And I'll drop that in so you'll be able to see it. Also, if you're not quite sure about your prices, hey, Regina, great to see you over here. If you're not quite sure about your prices, you want to dive into it a bit more, I'm more than open to discussing it with you. Definitely book a call with me. I'll also drop my book a call link in the chat for you. But book a call, let's put some strategy together, free call, and let's get you situated. But thank you all for joining me over in Facebook. And hopefully I'll see you over here in Zoom. Perfect. All right, so that live is done. The breakout rooms are done. JT, while they are coming back, let's talk. Let's talk.
Yeah.
Where do you need help with your pricing? I'm not even going to go all into the each thing with you because I know you spending gas. I know with you spending gas money to get over there, you're spending your time, and I'm sure you're getting great return, but are we profiting? Let's
Yeah,
talk.
I'll make sure we profit. I'll make sure with the prices that have, even though I get in wholesale, but I make sure I have a good amount of profit when I do sell and give my time and gas and everything. So yeah, I do profit. And also too, depending, y'all know in my case, I go to a lot of gyms, depending if I have to pay or not, that's where I also start like, all right, time to hustle mode, gotta really contact with a lot of people, talk to some people. Yeah, but I do make sure I profit, make sure I got a good profit margin on each one of my sales.
Good. I'm happy to hear it. Happy to hear it. All right. So for those that stayed in here, product-based, we talked a bit about really what goes into it, but I do want to hear from some of you that went over into the breakout rooms and tell me, like, what did you find? What extra expenses did you not even realize that you had? Anybody, any volunteer? Let me make sure I close them down over there on Facebook. I did. Anybody? I know y'all didn't go in them breakout rooms and just look at each other.
Yo, I ain't gonna hold you.
Hi.
Oh, go ahead, Miss Mandy.
Go ahead.
Now, so my son, he's 2 weeks old. My wife just grabbed him, but he wanted some attention. I don't know what was going on. So I did more listening, but I figured out that part of my pricing or part of my expenses that I didn't take into account definitely are just some of the background things like Canva, posting my wall, some of the like little marketing things that I don't even take account in, or even it's not that, what is it? Just laptop maintenance. Like I don't even use my laptop. Like, I'm not in school no more, so it's just like everything that I'm literally doing is literally for the sake of the business. Like I work from home, my Publix is across the street. So, you know what I'm saying? All the extra driving, like people could come through if they need to. I don't really go nowhere. But in what we were talking about, or part of my conversation was figuring out how to package things in
Mhm.
to really make it more of an experience. Because there are so many things that I offer, but in a way that I'm trying to innovate, I'm trying to offer options to where everything is very inclusive and was very convenient. So also even potentially pricing out conveniency to where if I drive to you, like I'm getting ready to start offering CPR classes to where my prices are going to be higher, but that's because I literally pull up to where you are to do your skill session. That's convenient for people, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know how to actually price that out.
Gotcha.
And we ain't talk about that in the breakout, but yeah, there's a million things going on. So that's on me.
Well, that makes sense, right? So let's just take the CPR, for example. In that space, first off, they had to sign up with you. So there were things that you had to do on the back end in order for them to be able to sign up with you. For example, you had to make sure that you had a website. You had to put out whatever, again, if it's an email sequence that you put out to promote, to get people to come to you, any funnels that you do, all of those things need to be taken into account. Now, we're not taking into account the full price, right? We're not charging anybody your $19.99 Canva subscription, right? But we're being mindful that those are expenses every month that do have to be covered. That's where we'll get into, okay, how many clients am I going to need per month in order to make sure that all of my expenses are covered, right? But we're not putting that into the fee. Then also you're driving to people, gas has gotten high, we know it. And dependent on how far your radius is and how many people have to show up in order to be there, there's so many variables that you want to make sure that you take into account. Do you have a specific set, like how many people need to be in the group? Or will you do one-on-ones?
I would do one-on-ones. So currently right now I don't have minimums. I probably should.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's the part to where it's just like,
So here's the deal for that. You can do your minimums, you know, everybody has the, okay, you know, group of 4, what have you, if you're going to go to people. If you are going to go to a singular person, you need to make sure that they're only within this certain radius, or you're going to them, but y'all are still meeting up somewhere. Do not go out of your radius, what makes sense for you. When you start hitting that, you're 20 minutes away, 15 minutes away, and especially depending on where you are, 15 minutes in Atlanta is definitely 45. So all of those things you need to start taking into account and set your boundaries as far as how far you're willing to go. And then they can come and meet you at the park that's a little bit closer or something like that. Right? And then when we get into those things, we start talking about maintenance. If anybody's ever driven Uber, Lyft, any of that, you know that maintenance is a big thing. You got to include that. Those tires are going to come. That oil change is going to come. And again, it's not saying you got to add $45 onto what you do, but $2 or $3 won't hurt by the time you have 20 clients. Right?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's a good pricing start for you. So I want you to keep writing your list. Anybody that's in here, if you haven't finished writing your list of all of the things that you do in order to show up and give this great, amazing value that you do, please keep writing. Mandy, I think you were saying what all was coming up in yours?
Oh no, that was good. I'm just listening. I came in late, sorry. So I didn't hear what you guys talking about before, but I was in a room with Danica. And so we pretty much just discussed our businesses and things like that.
Okay. Did y'all, so you said it was a Donica. Did you get to write down any of your prices? Or not prices, but any of the things that are going into your business?
We did things more around the question about what problem am I solving?
Okay.
So how do I price the problem that I'm solving? Because one of the things for me is I always have to be attending, taking new courses because I'm in the mental health field. Things are changing. So I always have to be taking more courses, learning about different modalities. And then with the diversity stuff is also making sure that I am up to standard with what's being done. So because of that, that also adds to my pricing because I have to pay for some of those.
Yes, absolutely. All of those, any certifications, all that stuff definitely needs to be included. And again, this is all just before showing up. Now, once you actually show up, what do people get from you? When they work with you, what do they get? Do they get a consultation call with you? How many times are you meeting up with them to talk? What does that look like? If you're talking, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Yeah. So depending on the program, so I offer a like a free 30 to 45-minute consultation call for the counseling and therapy just to see kind of what's going on with the person and then kind of make recommendations to move forward. And then for the diversity stuff, I usually do between 20 and 30 minutes to kind of describe my services to the organization. And then once they sign, if they're willing to move forward, once they sign a contract, then that's where I start looking at more. Just because I used to do longer consultations in the diversity world, and they would actually take my ideas and implement it themselves rather than go with the service. So I shortened the consultation there.
Got you. So one thing just to tip that I used to do especially when I would do like courses or when I'm doing the actual business rewired. So I have my VIP days where we actually like work through things. But then for the operations clients, this is when I'm actually stepping into the company as the COO, and we're putting people in place, we're putting processes in place, we're putting training in place. And one thing, that analysis phase, kind of your consultation phase, we go through that, and then I give them the option of, if you're satisfied here, we're good. I've charged you my upfront fee, let's say $2,500. But then if I'm going to continue on to work with you in the business, now we're doing the remainder of the fee, the $5,000. So make sure that your consultation, if it's coming with a full analysis of what you're actually going to do for them, like you said, they may implement themselves, you need to charge at the rate that you would for just giving that analysis, because you're showing them what they need. You're literally giving them the blueprint. And that way you've been paid sufficiently for your services. And then, of course, if they choose to work with you, now you're being paid more for your time. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, awesome. So on the worksheet, for those of you that have the sheet, if you go down to the bottom on the what you get, right? What you get items. If you need to add more lines, all you have to do is go right here, right? And you can click this plus and it will insert a row, and you can keep adding lines, because I know everybody doesn't just have 4 things, 8 things, 5 things. But that is where we are starting. Again, you'll put in the time that it's required, the frequency, total time. For those of you with product base, it's not on here, but I do want to make sure that you're writing down, for example, Cynthia, she has ink that she has to buy. That's $280 every time she has to buy it. That gets her through 10 weddings. She also has a printer. That printer costs $250. I would love to say her printer is going to work forever and never have to be bought again, but we need to make sure that we have that pricing in there. Now, and then also she talked about paper. Now, once we get there, so we'll go back to my example. How much is it for you to show up? Does anybody have this is my base number for me to show up? If you're a coach or some sort, maybe $85 an hour, $125 an hour. What does it look like just for you to show up and be amazing?
On average, I would say mine is 99 an hour. I think. Yeah, about 99 an hour, because that's how much my one-on-ones just for me to hop on Zoom.
I like it. I like it. I need everybody to have your number. If you don't know what that number is, I'm putting you on the spot and I need to see your number in the chat. Do not walk away from this Zoom without having a, this is my show up number.
That's hard because it's like, yo, so like in at least where I am,
Mhm.
and I can't say there's anybody that's really doing what it is that I'm doing.
Right.
But if I picked up a rock and I threw it in any direction,
Mhm.
I'm gonna hit another instructor.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And
That's
so,
fine.
yeah, so it's just like now I'm playing the elasticity, of economics of what will people actually pay for
Mhm.
versus where I put my number. And it's like, yo, I don't want to undercut myself, but I also don't want to do something to where it's like people's like, nah, you crazy.
That's fine. And there's nothing wrong with you looking to see what the industry standard is, right? You go to the barbershop, there's an industry standard, right? Maybe $25, $35, whatever, right? There may be a standard. You going out to people and doing all of that, okay, that's fine. But your baseline number for, again, you being who you are, and as you said, you throw a stone and there's another instructor. How many beauticians can you say are being passed along the street just from your ride home from anywhere? There are many. That does not mean you don't have your price to show up, because
Right.
there's a reason that they're coming to you. There's a reason they're learning specifically from you. Right?
Okay.
So what's that price looking like? I see Donica Guy, and am I saying your name right? I don't want to say it wrong. Is it Donica?
Yeah, sorry, it's Danica.
Danica. Okay, Danica, you're $100. I love it. Alexis said $99. What is your price to show up? And really, y'all, it don't have to be this big elaborate price. If it's $25, it's $25. Like, it doesn't have to be something wild. It just has to be, okay, if somebody called you on the phone, y'all know, I'm sure y'all have had that. Okay, well, I do it because I love it. What is the price for you to show up? Let me know. Prentice, I see you there. Do you have a price to show up? I'm an academy, so I've never had to show up. Okay, so when you say academy and you don't have to show up, I mean for you to put in any work. Not necessarily showing your face, but someone comes to you and say your absolute minimum, this is what I'm getting out of the bed for today. What's that price? We gotta know it.
Oh, that's $100.
Okay.
I gotta get out of bed. It's $100.
$100. Love it.
Yeah.
I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
Because my bad, y'all, for the rest of y'all.
No, this
Like,
is what
so-
we're here for.
Like, because I got classes, you feel me? Like, I'll
Mhm.
do I got a gun safety class that we may not for real do shooting, but it's like, just so you get comfortable with your gun, how it works, so on and so forth. Yo,
Okay.
that's like $50. Or I might do like a situational awareness Zoom for like $35. But
Okay.
if we gonna show up and we for real, like gonna do something, then that's a completely different price. So it's like, as I'm thinking about this, should we be thinking of this as what is our lowest price offer? Or
My question to you would be, for the people, you said you're showing up, you're not actually shooting, all of those things. Are you doing them any disservice by not showing them what they need to know? Or are you going far enough that they're leaving with something tactical, no pun intended, maybe a little bit, but are they leaving with something they can do something with? Did you
Oh, yeah,
change your
always.
life?
Yeah,
Did you change your
always. Yeah, always.
What about that isn't worth your fee? And I promise you, I'm not the advocate for let me just overcharge because I'm me, I'm amazing. But there is a cost for you to show up. You've put in the work to learn all of these things, right?
Yeah.
I have someone in my network that hosts a gun safety class. JT, can you tell me what their prices look like? Do you know?
Yeah, I just got his email. He charged 99 a person. So you have a class come in. So let's say you had like 10 people and 99, well, just say 100
Mhm.
dollars per person to come up. He showed the gun safety, he showed everything. Also, they go to the gun range right across the street that he had connection with.
So
Okay.
see, like, so in that, and let me ask you this real quick, JT. What state you in?
I'm in Georgia. I'm in Atlanta.
Okay. Okay, bet. So gun safety for me is more so we in a room, we talking, we not going to the range, we not shooting a single shot. You know what I'm saying? Now if we're doing something to where, let's say somebody say, yeah, I want a private lesson, then I know for a fact right now it starts at 75 an hour with a 2-hour minimum. But if you just tell me like, hey, can you come talk to us about situational awareness? Yeah, $35 a hit, you feel me? Or $50 or something like that. Like certain things, depending on what it is that I'm actually doing or putting time in on, is tiered, like price wise, if that makes sense. But
Okay.
I do appreciate that example.
So I want to break down a class where we are, and everyone else, start thinking about the small things, right? I want to break down a class where people are just coming up, like you said, situational awareness. We're just coming in talking about safety. You said that's running about $35.
Safety is a gun safety course is 50. But if it's like situational awareness, it's 35.
Okay, we'll say 35 since that's the lowest offer, right? So
Yeah.
$35, just understanding situational awareness. You are saving lives, right?
Mhm. Yep.
For driver's ed is somewhere between $55 and $75. Just the education of. So I want you to keep that in mind as we continue to talk. So are you going to a building that belongs to you?
No.
Okay, are you having to rent that building out wherever you're going?
More times than not, I do. But if it's a lot of times if people book me for something private, I make them responsible for that.
Okay, how much is that fee?
Or if they're doing it themselves.
No, or either way, what's the fee?
Oh, if I'm doing this, like probably I say the highest like 25 an hour.
Okay, how many hours is the class?
For that particular class, situation awareness, an hour.
Okay, so you're already at $10 of what you should actually, right, what you're charging people. Okay, it doesn't matter how many people show up. It only matters about one. So if one person shows up, you've made $10, kind of. How far away is this building from you?
I see where you're going. So, and that's why currently I do that one on Zoom. So I don't even go outside for that one unless somebody actually book it. And it's like, yo, you got to come up with, I'm not coordinating the location. Like, that's all on you. This is the radius I'll drive to at this price.
Okay,
And that's where we'll take it from there.
all
But
right.
I see what you're saying though. It's starting to click.
And your Zoom is $14.99 if you have the basic pro version. So
Yep.
that you can go over 45 minutes. So you're
Yep.
$14.99 a month. And you're only charging $35. Now I understand the low prices, right? We definitely want to hit people where their pockets can meet. However, you are saving lives. Don't ever get that twisted. There is, especially now, and being here in Atlanta, especially now, for women alone, that's $100 class. Being able to check out what's going on around my car, a lot of stuff that I wouldn't even pay attention to. How do I know my tires are still straight and nobody messed them up? You are saving lives and you need to understand that.
I would pay for that.
That's crazy because I haven't done it in a couple of weeks. I just had my son, but I was doing every Monday, a safety tips Monday for free on my IG. So now I'm like, oh shit, I need
Oh,
to go ahead and make some changes real quick.
yeah, you do.
So I'm picking up what you're putting down. It's starting to click.
Yeah. So those are starting points, right? Let's see, the course I was going to put together for single parents to teach them how to cut their boys to save them some money was $4.99 for a whole day. That's good. That's good. Especially if you put some kind of perks in there, as far as like knowing what to go get, right? Like actually, like I need to know what products to go get, all of that. So having a bunch of resources, that's really
Well,
important.
what I was gonna actually do is I was gonna have a kit for them already. Have a kit for them. That's part of the $4.99. Have a kit for them already.
Perfect.
And they fall off that kit and carry on from there.
Perfect. Perfect. How much time, and then JT, I see your hand. How much time does it take you? Are you putting the kit together? Are you buying the kit? How does that work?
Yeah. I put the kit together.
How much time is that taking you?
It wouldn't take me nothing but Amazon, like probably like an hour in Amazon.
Okay. 1 hour. You're mailing them out?
No, they get it once they come to the class.
Okay, so it's physical. Okay. Got it. You own the building?
Yeah, I rent the building.
Okay. What's the rent on the building?
The rent is $1,400.
Okay. Cool. How often are you running the classes?
I haven't even done one yet. I'm gonna do it starting 2023.
Okay. Cool. For you to sell this class, it's all about positioning, right? Because people will look and be like, "Oh, $500, for me to learn how to cut hair." Now, if I'm not getting certified or, any of that type of stuff where I can cut other people, then this is just a personal expense for me to be able to save money. So then I'm going to look at, am I spending $500 a month or $500 in a year for my boys' haircuts? So let's see. I know for my sons, it's $35 for their haircuts.
And it depends on if you're going every week or you're going every other week.
That part too, right? So let's say we're doing every 2 weeks, right? So that's $70 a month times 12, $840.
So you're saving $300 some.
That would need to be positioned up front in order for that understanding to be there of why this is valuable. And you're getting products, right? Those are the add-ons, the and. So it's all about how you position that when you're pushing that offer.
Okay.
But I think that's really good. And you said, how long is this class?
It will be a 1 day class.
Like how many hours?
8 hours. I push it to 8 hours because I know can't nobody learn in 3 hours to cut a hair, but I'll say the whole 8 hours.
And how much does the kit cost?
The kit wouldn't cost me no more than $100.
100. You might need to push that price up, maybe just by about $50 or so.
Okay.
Or again, the positioning of it. If you're charging $4.99, you can say that it's $3.99 plus, get the kit for this much, because maybe they have their own, and maybe you want to give the class $2.99, something like that. So just work around those numbers when it comes to product versus.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay.
Thank
So, AC, was your hand still up, or?
Yeah, it was up, but then I had brothers down. I was talking to him secretly, but I was just gonna put more comment on D. I said, "Yo, man, you have a very phenomenal and essential class." Because when I went to a gun safety class, they even talk about laws. Like certain states, like got different laws on certain things. You might can go to jail even though you're protecting your family. So your class is very essential, especially during this day and age. So I just want to, be confident with the price, because you got a stream value where you provide for the community.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, even just the information portion of your class, like I would take that I'm in Baltimore, and I would take that to find out, like JT was just saying, just to find out more about if you were knowledgeable on the laws in different states and things, like I would take your Zoom class to get that information, or that those, and that information, like you guys were saying about even being aware of your surroundings and different things like that. Those are very important. Like I will host a girls' night with a
Mhm.
class like that. Like you can market that so many ways to like
Mhm.
women especially, because all of us might not want to shoot a gun, but we might want to learn all those other things that you can help us with.
Absolutely.
Okay, bet. No,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get the ladies' night going.
Yeah,
Market that.
that's
Yeah.
actually my target market.
Mhm.
Black women between 25 and 44. I mean, of course, I see men or people outside of that age range, but that's my niche. That's my niche market.
And I
So-
love that because we are tired. And when I say we, I say me and a lot of people that I know, we are tired of just the here, buy a taser. Cool. This thing done went off in my pocket a couple times and it's not cool. Right. I thought I was being slick with it, had it in my purse. Next thing I know, my son playing with it. Oh, it's a flashlight. But wait. Right. So like those things, like I'm tired of we'll get you the ring and get you the pepper spray. No, I need to know what to do and what to look out for. So I don't even have to use this stuff if it comes down to it, really. Right. So yes. Okay, so I'm going to continue on this. I don't want to hold y'all for too much longer, maybe about 10 more minutes or so. And this worksheet is yours. Continue down it, right? Remember, you can press the plus and add you some rows. But your expected hourly rate, again, do not leave this call without your number that you show up with. That is your price, and anything else is extra on top of it. Now, in that offer baseline, right? Starts with the baseline of the minimum you're willing to do the service. This is also where you begin to talk about the cost, the risk, and profit. Now, when someone asks you from now on, right, how much it costs, what's the price of it? That includes your profit. It's all of what it takes to do business and including your profit. So if you know, we just talked about Zoom. If you know that your Zoom, no taxes, is costing you $14.99 a month, that's $179.88. Let's take that $179.88, and for 50 clients, you would only need to charge them $3.59. Let me admit this person. Does that make sense? So it's not as deep as it seems. While you're paying $179.88, 50 clients across the year cost them $3.59. You can include that. Now, we don't need to get completely tedious and down to the complete bottom line number, but we do want to be mindful. You bought your printer. Okay, cool. I'm sure it's going to last you quite a few years, but you don't want the what if situation to come up and you're in the middle of doing something and you can't afford to go do it, right? The other cost of doing business is when you get that big client and they're like, hey, I need you to come out here and do this big group on the other side of the country. You need to be able to get there and all of that, and we reimburse you. Don't put yourself in a position where you're not ready to take on opportunities because you haven't made the money from people that have been coming in order to sustain yourself, right? Now, budgeting on another scale, as far as having your business bank accounts, all of that, we could talk about that on an actual consultation call, because that's where it gets real deep, right? If you are sitting here and you do not have a business bank account, all of your money is going to one account. I need you to figure out what you got to do this week in order to go get you a business bank account open. If you just absolutely 100% cannot go get you a business bank account, I want you to at least open up a Square Up account. And they have that checking account, do your business through there. There's a debit card that comes with it if you're needing your money immediately. I know everybody's big on Stripe. They have the same fees, but at least there on SquareUp, you can see the money there. You have a routing and account number, and you have a debit card where you can use those funds if you need them. But do not go into 2023 mixing money. You will not get ahead mixing your money. Okay? Can y'all put in the chat, promise? Well, I know y'all like, wait a minute, I can't get to my keyboard. Promise me, do not go into 2023 without some sort of way to split your money. Okay, thank you. Now, where we're talking about this offer baseline, right? In this example, we have $45 for the Wi-Fi. That's $45 a month. $15 for the email servicer, $8.99 for the business phone line, $85 an hour. If that person's a no-show, that still cost me, right? That still cost me on the calendar. If I was supposed to do the work, it's still $85, which is why a lot of people charge the no-show fees. That's completely up to you, but that was a cost. Somebody else could have had that spot. And even if somebody else wasn't going to have that spot, you could have been out marketing to other people for them to come get that spot. Does that make sense? So it's still a spot lost. So those are all the things that you include. Once you have your numbers together, how much it is for you to show up, what are the different prices of things that you need to add together? Now let's say, okay, what do I want to profit? Have I made enough that, okay, I'm good with the profit? Or what do I want to profit? In this case, the want to profit is 145.01. The reason it's 145.01 is because when someone does purchase something from you and you're using, Square, Stripe, what have you, let's say the payment is $250. Of that $250, you may only make probably $220, $212. So that fee has to be included in there. That's coming off of your profit. We all good there? That one is mandatory in Canada to have. Oh, good. So everybody got that? I want you to get your profit number. So in this case, line D, that Wi-Fi email servicer, the business line, the $85 an hour, and the 145.01 profit is $300. Then we get down here, that makes C and D, right? The total plus the offer baseline, $1,830. And then if you decide to go into the space where you're doing payment plans for people, now you need to start adding on those percentages, right? 10%, 20%, 15%. In the service-based space, it's usually somewhere between 10 and 20%. If it's more phone call, Zoom-based, we're talking 10 to 15%. In product, if you are doing payment plan, this no less than 20%. No less than 20%, because you have a physical product. If that product can go bad or anything like that, you need to be able to charge for it. You need to be able to charge for chargebacks. Somebody said, oh, this isn't what I wanted. Yes, it was. But, right? This is what you said you wanted, but okay, right? Or the, I never got it. All of those things need to be taken into account. Group pricing. Tell me what you're thinking, Mandy.
I'm thinking if you have, so for what I have, it's kind of like what I was saying with this tactical defense education. It's if you have it where there's a group of ladies or something that maybe want to take your program or whatnot, how do you see group pricing versus individual for things like that? Do they still charge each person individually, even though they book you as a group of like 5? Maybe give a discount if it's 5 or more.
So funny enough, I just literally had a conversation like this. So my private classes went from 150 a person to 250.
Okay.
And I was going to start tearing it off to where once I hit a certain amount of people, they get a discount. I was gonna do like a 20% discount, but after doing the math on that, it's like, well, 20%, 5 people, one person got a spot for free. So generally what I'll do is the person who hosted, I'll take care of their tuition, where everybody else they pay individually. And sometimes I would do an invoice to where whoever pays the invoice, they just pay it and I ain't got to deal with it from there. Or I can set it up to where everybody just pays individually, and then you know, just as we're coming up on it, if somebody drops off or whatever the case is, then I could go ahead and collect whatever the remaining is that we agreed upon from there. But I try to email that back and forth.
Okay.
Good idea.
Can we, because I want to see where you're profiting, right? That's what we're here for today.
Yeah.
And y'all, we're gonna go for, we won't go past 9:30. I know y'all got stuff to do too. We won't go past 9:30, but let's walk this backwards and profit. So you're saying you're charging $250?
Yeah.
And that's a minimum of 5 people?
Once we hit 5 people.
Once you hit 5 people.
Yeah, once we hit 5 people, then I'll do like but then in that case, I think it was still, I gotta do the math on that. Hold up.
Okay. Because what I want us to get down to is, are we profiting? Right? And everybody, you can get your number together, what you're charging, and we're about to work this backwards.
Okay, gotcha. So yeah, so the private is 250. And
Okay.
so in that, I would do, I say once we get to a certain amount of people in this instance, for this particular situation, this may or may not change for anybody watching this on recording. As of right now, I'm doing a 20% discount, which the host basically is getting the course at the tuition taken care of. So,
And we're
if
per
it-
person, right?
yeah, per person.
Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about that one person. So this per person, they're getting emails, reminders, any of that type of stuff. What are they getting?
There's an automatic email that goes out, but then I do send an initial email that I already have created as a template.
Okay.
And I'll send that out just with information about the class, waivers that are required prior to, and you know, just a light overview of what's
Okay.
going on.
And just because that's an auto email, there's something making that auto.
Yes.
So there's
Yes.
a cost there. All right. How much is that auto email costing you?
Well, the auto one, actually, believe it or not, since it goes through one of the orgs that I'm certified through, that I don't pay for that. But I do manually send out that other email for myself personally, just to say welcome. So that is something that I personally do.
How long does that take you?
About 10, 15 minutes.
You say 15 minutes. Got it. Okay. Now I've gotten my email, getting the reminders and things, the waiver, I've signed all of that. Now what's next?
From there, once all that is taken care of, I do need to print certificates. So I have to create the certificates on Canva, and then I have to print them. I use very special paper.
Are you using the paid Canva subscription?
Yeah, I got the pro.
Okay. $19.99. Okay. And then paper?
Yeah. So the paper that I use is like $12 a pack.
Okay. And where are you printing these?
At the house.
On your printer?
Yep.
At cost?
Mm-hmm.
How much did your printer cost?
I think I got it on a Black Friday sale, so it was probably like 50 to 100. I just call it 100.
All right. So to replace it, roughly $100. Okay. Not bad, not bad.
And then I gotta buy ammo.
Okay. How much is ammo costing you?
Based on the guns that we'll shoot, I could probably get. I could get, if it's 4 people or 5 people, I would say
How much is one person costing you?
about $10 to $20.
All right, $20,
Yeah,
right? And then you're going to them in this scenario?
yeah.
What's your radius?
You know what? I ain't set that up. It's gonna be after this. It's gonna be like 15 miles.
Okay, 15 miles. Now, where are you located?
I'm just outside of Tampa.
Just
Yeah,
So gas is what, 380 something or 4?
at Sam's Club is 280.
Okay, discount. We're gonna call it an even 3. So that's $45 that you're willing to put in gas to get to somebody,
Hmm.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
and then how long is the class?
This class is yeah, I know, right? I was responding to JT. The class, this would be, since it's private, because I do it on their time, it'll last anywhere between 5 to 8 hours. That's including range time.
I wish I had one of them old school.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but it's cool. We're still within the industry standard. So we'll say 8 hours. So
Uh-huh.
that's $31.25.
And that's a
hour.
loan. Yeah, that's a loan situation. Like in general, it'll be probably like 6, but I just threw 8 out there.
Okay, we'll say 6. So 41.66. We'll say 41.67.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would you come out for $41.67 if I asked you to?
And see, that's a crazy thing. That's why I'm in this doggone room. Nah.
You wouldn't, right?
Yeah. No.
That 41.67 is before you even got Canva, the 15 minutes for the emails, your cost of ammo, all of those things.
Yeah.
Right? While $250 sounds good to the customer, for $41.67, you would not show up. And there is a balance. Yes, there is a medium. This is where, and the reason that I did it this way, y'all, is because I need y'all to understand that a group has to be a group. If you know that for one person, you're not showing up for $41.67, that group, hey, they doing it as a group. Their price has to go up. It has to, because you're still breaking down per person. Now, I'm not saying for the one person, right, let's go and make the price sky high. But when we're doing these group situations, there's no way you're coming out the house for $41.67. Do not undercut yourself. There's no profit in it. You are breaking even. And I'm pretty sure that if you're looking at your bank account, you are breaking even. There's no profit. Unfortunately. You said bump it up $20. Yeah. So I don't want you to get stuck here though. That's what I don't want. I need you to have one, your price for coming out. This is everybody. I need you to have your price for coming out. Do not, your price for coming out does not change. Then do your add-ons. Okay, how much is Canva costing me? How much is my cost of truly doing business, my website, all of those things? Look at that total expense. Once you see those total expenses, say, okay, cool. I'm paying, I don't know, I'm paying $1,000 a year in order to be able to do business. If you're only paying $1,000 a year, you need to start looking at, okay, how many clients do I need at the price that I have now? And now let's start bumping it up. Let's get some profit in here. We got to get profit, right? All the little things matter, or you will not go any further than where you are. I did see a hand, but I didn't see who it was.
It's Miss Cynthia.
Okay,
Thanks.
okay, I see. I got you both. All right, Cynthia?
Okay, so two things. One, I got an invitation to join a women's only self-defense gun class for $150 per person. And there was no limit for, I mean, no, you know, nobody gets anything free. If so, I would put myself on that list for that one. But anyway, so looking at with my invitations, because what I didn't add in there when we were talking was the time it takes me to design it. I also, depending on if they want one, I can either send them a sample of what I've done with my huge watermark across it, because I've had somebody, you know, try to go and copy it.
Mhm.
But or I can get on a Zoom call because I have a Zoom account, and so they can share my screen so they can see what it looks like. I have a questionnaire that I have them complete.
Mhm.
So I'm, and then also if they want to talk, you know, if I have questions or they have questions, we can talk on the phone about that.
Do
and,
you have set in where, because questions are going to come up, right? So there's your initial consultation to find out what they want. You need to set how long that consultation is. And then for the follow-up questions, and then if there's revisions, all of that needs to be taken into account.
And now what I have done or what I haven't done, because again, based on my own experience, and I don't like to nickel and dime people, so I just want to add it all in, cost up front.
Mhm.
If I send you the sample and you say, oh, well, you know what, we changed our colors from blue and purple to orange and red. It takes a second to change the color. What I kind of decided I wasn't going to do, because I've seen it and I've had it happen and it drives me crazy. Each little revision people do, you know, they'll say, well, I'm going to charge you you get one free revision and everything is $10 after that. And I hate doing that because it's a pain. I know I've had it happen to me. And I'm like, you know what, never mind.
Yeah.
But I do have, I don't do bridezillas. So that's just, you know, all that. So if you get to the point, oh, this orange is just a shade off, can you make it the exact color of this orange that I saw in the store? We're gonna have a problem. And I have no problem canceling people and saying I'm not working with you at all. No, you don't get your deposit back.
Yeah.
But one thing I have done is I've had it built into my deposit. And actually that was before this phone call. My deposit is 50% of what your cost is going to be.
Yep.
Now, the good thing about that is 50% is what it will cost me to do the whole job, but you don't know that.
That's
So,
what it should be.
and it's non-refundable.
In your space. Hold on, let me pause that. That's what it should be in your space. That's not for everybody. But yes,
For me. Yeah, my deposit, the 50% I charge you for the deposit is what it's going to cost the whole job. Let's say if I print all the invitations and then you decide you don't want them, well, at the very least, my costs have been covered.
Right.
But now I'm starting to rethink that. I mean, not the 50% deposit, some of my costs, because these are going to end up being some $10 per invitations. I mean, Beyonce gonna be at some point gonna be the only person to be from me.
So this is where, and I don't know if Alexis is still on. For $10 an invitation would be a bit much.
Yeah.
Right. However, let me see. Is she still on? Alexis, are you still on? So in her space, it's embroidery, right? And so it's also that personalized touch, the customizations, those types of things. And I'd even say somewhere, the $4 range is cool. $6 maybe a little bit more so. But the way you start working around those things is having those minimums, which is why they're out there. They are frustrating, but that's exactly why they're out there. And then charge your per what have you, and even going up on your per invitation. So you never put out the price of what it is per invitation. You put out, this is the price for 20. Then you put out, this is your additional 3, 5, whatever your per invitation will cost this. This is not the cost. And you make sure you let them know, this is not the cost for your bulk order, but your extras per. And of course, that will start to alleviate some of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Prentice? If you're talking, you're on mute.
Yes, the question I have for you was that since I'm in the class, I'm actually in the classroom. I don't go out as much of the most of the business that's been speaking.
Mhm.
I just need to orchestrate that timing down, as you said, because like I said, mine is mostly an academy, so I'm actually the instructor to teach the class versus, and my price is already set at 7,500. Now, when they come in and do orientation, I could charge them for that, but 9 times 10, I've never seen a school charge for orientation.
Okay. And you're online, right?
No, it's actually a physical class.
But I'm saying you're hosting online as well.
No,
I say
no.
not the actual class. I mean, people are you like running funnels or anything?
Oh yes.
Okay. So you still have your website costs. You still have, so in class, is anyone getting on any platform, Thinkific, any of that type of stuff?
No.
Okay, that's good. So you're keeping your cost low, but you're also charging for whatever building you're hosting at. All of those things still need to come into play.
Yes, and the building is actually inside my barbershop. So like my barber academy is in the back of my school.
Okay.
I mean, the barber academy is in the back of my barbershop. Excuse me.
Right, but that barbershop costs.
Correct.
Right. And now this is where I don't get into the nitty-gritty of, okay, I got to pay for electricity and I got to pay for, all of that for the service-based. Product-based, yes, you want to charge your rent and all of that. For the service-based, you don't have to go too deep into this is the rent of and all of that, unless you're specifically just dependent on these clients to make sure that you make the rent. Then otherwise you don't need to go that deep into it, but you do still want to take some account for it. How many clients do you need? This is where your grind comes out, right? How many clients do you need to make sure that you're not having to overprice and overcharge, but you're also not undercutting yourself and you're making that profit?
Because I think my biggest problem is not is getting clients, is that I'm stuck on a payment plan. Like my students have to come on a payment plan. So I would Alessia said, she had mentioned to me about some kind of a payment plan or some kind of grant or something for students where they be held accountable. They'll be held accountable for the payment versus me.
Yeah.
Because I have to wait 2 years before I can even get government funding.
Yeah. See those. So the grants, that is good. I think that was Mandy. There's also to where you can have people apply for funding. It doesn't have to be some outrageous predatory loan, right? There are plenty of companies. I know Silk Financial, Nove. There are a few companies that will allow you to get paid up front, and then they have to make those payments accordingly. Or just your price is your price. And if you are allowing people to do payment plans, you've got to throw that percentage on top of there. And if you're going through a payment processing system, you need to charge that too. I think for $7,500 on Square, it's going to cost you about $1,000, if not like $1,200. So you got to take that into account.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
The Klarna, Klarna and Afterpay is cool, but they're costing even more than just the payment system. So Klarna, actually Afterpay just went up to 6.9% per transaction plus $3. And then I think Klarna is close to the same. They usually all stay in the same space, whereas them just paying you out is 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. Yeah. Yep. Did I miss any questions? Do deposit for groups? Yep. Definitely do deposits for groups. Always do a deposit for group. Honestly, do a deposit on everything. Unless unless you are in a space where if they don't show, it's perfectly fine. And by show, I don't mean physically show up. I mean, if they don't go through, it's fine. Then no, a deposit needs to be had. That's an absolute.
I collect 100% up front.
There you go. 100% upfront. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Unless you start to see a huge decline.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see. I offer a product and a service you can combine. Yep, absolutely. So I appreciate you all being here. Make sure that you fill these out. I would love for you to actually, fill them out and send them back to me. Just, so I can see it. We can work through it if you'd like. Actually, let me drop my call link. If you want to work through this some more. Also, if you have any other questions on anything else in the business. Oh, you didn't get it? Hold on 1 second, Mandy. Let me drop the link for you. And just make a copy of it. This one you won't be able to write on. For any of you that aren't sure, you go to File, make a copy, change it to whatever you want. But please book a call with me. We can go into some more strategy. We can get a bit more detailed into, what you're doing, how you're doing it, maybe how you need to price. If your prices need to go up, or maybe even, if your prices need to come down in order for you to start turning over more clients. I would love to hear from you all. Again, make sure you book that call with me. If you want to move further, we go into a VIP day. The VIP days are awesome. We have a really good time. We dive deep into the business and we literally get to work that day. No questions. And for sure, accountability. It's usually about 4 to 5 hours. I also buy you lunch and we have a good time. JT has been one of my amazing clients, and he's been rocking.
Yeah, I just want to say this, invest in yourself. Like literally, if y'all like this webinar, it's free, you got a whole lot of value. Go ahead and invest in yourself. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Plus, make this start off with great momentum in the new year. Tori is the real deal. And you see how she helped y'all strategize, like, dog, I didn't think about that. So she will definitely on the VIP days, one-on-one, y'all get down the greedy and the fire, really start like, all right, what I gotta do to go to the next level. So invest in yourself because it's worth every dollar and penny and dime you can think of. So definitely check her out.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, we have a good time in the VIP days, and then the accountability after is wild. So next week's webinar, maybe I'd like to hear from y'all. So I was going to do 2 things, right? So last week, we talked about what your next level of success is really just on the other side of what you don't feel like doing. And thank you so much, Mandy. And I want to talk about also your next levels of success is just on the other side of what you can afford. I've been in that place so many times, right? Where I'm like, oh, I want to work with this coach, and oh, I want to, put this particular thing together, and I need to buy this machine. And it's like everything just seems like it's just on the other side of my budget or what I could afford. And I found some workarounds for that. But then the other one, the other webinar, and I have plenty of these, y'all, which is why I'm asking. I wanted to talk about those that have so many pieces of the business. Like I have all of this that I'm doing, and I need to figure out how to really streamline my business into one thing. Like, how do I put all these pieces together and really make it a cohesive business? So I'd love to hear your thoughts. shoot me some DMs, let me know. Also, let me know how you felt about this webinar. I would love, love, love your feedback if you are open to it. On Instagram at Shatora Ladorn, y'all can see my name on there. Please send me a video telling me what you loved about the webinar. I would love to be able to post it. If you do not forget your business. A lot of people will send me testimonials and things like that. And I'm like, yo, I want you to be able to get some promo from this. It's about me, but it's not just about me. I need you to start off with, I'm Mandy with da-da-da-da-da, my IG, so that if people see me, they're also seeing you, right? And then let them know what you liked about the webinar. I would greatly appreciate the video. If you can, just as soon as we're done, while it's kind of hot and heavy on your mind. And you'll be posted somewhere, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. But if you're fine with it, I would truly appreciate it. Again, book your call with me and let's rock. I hope to see you all next week. Make sure you re-register. If you go back to the webinar link, it's there again. It's refreshed, or at least it should be. Actually, I'll drop it for you so that you can go ahead and sign up for next week. Boom, there you
No,
go.
this is dope. And forgive me, everybody, for asking as many questions as I did. If I took time away from anybody, I hope the questions I had was relevant to what y'all got going as well. But
Really.
Yeah, I think, the appreciation is definitely there. This is what we're here for. I am not one of those coaches that does the cookie cutter. Let me get in here and just talk at you. I really want to be able to help. Alexis will tell you, I am that person that will overthink everything because I want to give value. And I will stop myself from doing things because I want to give value. So I appreciate you all being here. So book a call. Also send me a video. Tell me what you thought. And I will see you all back here next week.
all right.
All righty. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Nice meeting you.
Good night.
All right. Follow each other too. Follow.
Yeah, have a good night,
Oh,
everybody.
yeah, everybody who put their stuff up there, I followed them.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a good night.